Hey guys, so let's start understanding your quality function deployment. So this is not a rocket science. This is very easy. It is very easy to follow. So we have already discussed that quality function deployment. It is basically used to identify your critical customer requirements and to create a specific kind of link between your customer requirements and your functional requirements. That is what the first page says. We have already talked about that it is very important to understand the critical requirement of customers. It is also important to understand what functional requirement would drive those customer requirements. And then we would also understand what areas we prioritize to reap out the maximum benefit using QFD. Industries like BPO, finance, banking, and insurance, they are using QFDs. Historically, it was supposed to be that this tool is specifically designed for manufacturing industry, but after the successful implementation with the service industries, QFDs become very popular among them. QFD helps organizations to identify the areas where they should focus their approach to initiate projects. That is what we discussed earlier. So guys, let's understand how to create QFD. So this is what your house of quality looks like. So guys, the important thing to understand, the house of quality over here at the right hand side, you'll see that is what is exactly replicated on the Excel image of it. So the voice of customer, the extreme left, this one, voice of customer, is the first house. If you look at this, is the voice of customer house we are talking about. This house is called as relationship matrix. This would give you a relationship between your corporate language. Your corporate language is this one. This is the house we are referring for your house of quality. This is called as corporate language. So this is more of a functional requirement. If I say corporate language, that is a functional requirement. So relationship between your corporate language and voice of customer is captured over here, and this house is called as relationship matrix. The top one, the heart shaped, this is where the conflict of interest would be captured. Another house which you look at over here, it is called as conflict of interest. We would capture the conflict of interest between your functional requirements over here. So guys, conflict of interest would be represented by some sign. So for example, if there is a positive correlation between your corporate language, you would put positive sign. If there is a no correlation, probably you can put 0 or no sign. If there is a negative correlation, you will put negative sign over there. So this correlation is among the functional requirements which you have identified. Another house is benchmarking. Yes, this is what we talked about. We understood that once you identify your customer satisfaction, you would be rated on your satisfaction rating. What is your customer satisfaction in the present scenario, and then you would be rated on the same parameter in the market. So your competitor 1, competitor 2, competitor 3, whomsoever customer satisfaction data is available with you, you would put all the ratings over here on the same customer parameters which we talked about. Another house is benchmarking from your company corporate. So once you have calculated all the relationship metrics, so relationship metrics would have a certain points associated with each one of it. For example, if there is a strong relationship, you would give 9 points to it. If there is a moderate relationship, you would give 3 points. Weak relationship, 1 point, and none, 0 point. The definition of strong, moderate, weak, and none, you can have your own set of definition. You can have your own set of values assigned to each one of them, but the idea would remain same. The last house, if you look at the second last, which is the weighting the importance of the expectation, is this one, where you would have your current performance mentioned, you would have your target, your benchmark, once you've calculated everything from your relationship metrics. And then you would have your own quantification of corporate expectation, which is over here on what project, what is the difficulty level, how much cost and time would it take, and what would be the priority given to improve on this project. So we are going to discuss this in details, each and every house. We would do the practical of it right now. So let's start understanding how exactly we are going to fill each and every house of quality. So as we discussed that customer requirements are arrived through VOCs. Every organization has a various set of methods to get the VOCs, and so you can capture your customer requirements from those VOCs. Now, let's say, for example, this is the example of one of the telecom service provider in India. That organization has captured the VOC from the various segments of customer. It probably would have captured through various surveys, telephone surveys, on-site visit, website surveys, a different mechanism of collecting VOCs. Now, if you look at certain VOCs, some customer says we need good connectivity in our area. Call rates for voice calls and data usage is fairly low for other service providers. They say most of the time we get 2G and 3G services, whereas 4G is provided by other providers. They say I am youngster, I need a call plan according to my own need. Some of them say customer service center fails to provide correct information most of the time. As we discussed, this is your the first house we talked about, wherein you will capture the VOC of the customer. You would have your customer requirements. So this is voice of customer we are going to talk about. So this is the first house. Now, customer importance ratings. So you would capture all the VOC over here, your customer requirements, and then you will provide a rating according to the importance of that customer requirement to the customer. So that would be your customer importance rating. So, for example, if we say, let's start filling it. Let's do it. So, for example, if we say, what would be your first customer requirement? So, let's say it would be like better connectivity in remote areas. So, I'm putting it as better connectivity in remote areas. Second customer requirement could be your charges, right? Your second requirement could be your charges. So your charges would be low call and data charges. Your third customer requirements could be your so your third requirement could be minimum disruption in services. Disruption in services. You could be your customized plan as per need. Customized plan as per need. And last one says better customer services or good customer services. Good customer services. So guys, what have we done? We have filled in the customer requirements in our first house. So these customer requirements would be weighted according to the importance of the customer. So for example, better connectivity in remote areas. Let's say for example, it is 3 on a scale of 1 to 5 to customer. Low call and data charges. I think it should be 5 on that scale. Minimum disruption in services. It could be again 5 on that scale. Customized plan as per need. It should be could be 3. And good customer service, again 5. So guys, this is an example we are talking about. Probably you would have 20 line items. You can have 20 line items in this. And the customer importance ratings you would do through brainstorming session in a live scenario where different people from various functional departments is present, and you'll do the customer rating over there. So we have filled our first house. We have customer requirements captured, and then we have customer importance rating captured in our first house. So this was the first thing which we supposed to do over here. Now guys, moving on to our second house, which was corporate language or functional requirement. Yes, we are going to fill this one. So functional requirement says how can those customer requirements be fulfilled? What functionality should be included? How can we fulfill those customer requirements? So now you would have people from various departments sitting in a room. As a consultant, you would be doing the brainstorming session on this one. You would capture the functional requirements. So let's say, for example, we have captured our customer requirements. Now we are going to capture our functional requirement. So if you look at we'll go better connectivity in remote areas. What can be the functional requirement to fulfill to provide better connectivity in remote areas? What can be that functional requirement? So probably that could be the best way to provide is antennas. So the best way could be more antennas in remote areas. So you can say, you can write more antennas in remote areas. Second functional requirement is cost plan redesign. You need to redesign your cost plan so that you can provide a better call and data usage to your customer. Third could be if you have to provide a better connectivity, it could be a redesigning of your transmission system. So design a transmission medium. Another one could be so minimize the sharing of antennas of other service provider. So minimizing the antennas of other service provider. And the last one could be training, because we also want to improve on our customer service. So training your support team. Training support team. So we have captured the functional requirement. So guys, what have we done? We have completed the corporate language. We have completed the voice of customer. So we have completed the two house of quality. So now we are going to look at the conflict of interest. So conflict of interest would say, so both these parameter. Okay, before moving to conflict of interest, you would also need to you need to fill in the desired direction of improvement. So this would say, what would happen if you would more antennas in remote areas be better, or less antennas in remote areas be better, or no antennas in remote areas be better? So depending upon these, you would put in the arrows over there. So over here you see certain arrows, up, down, or 0. So if up, it says more antennas in the area would be better. So you put it as an up. If cost plan redesign, more cost plan redesign would be better, or low cost plan redesign would be better, or 0. So this has to be brainstormed under discussion. If you realize, less cost plan redesign is better, you put it as an inverted arrow over here. Again, the third one was redesigning our transmission medium. So more redesign of a transmission medium is better. You will put it as the up arrow. More redesign of a transmission medium is better. The another one was minimizing the antennas of other service provider. So this activity should be more. Minimize the number of antennas. More initiatives should be done to minimize the number of antennas. So you could put it up, or put it as a low. Your training customer support team, more training is required, more is better, so you put it as an up arrow over here. Once this is done, you will fill in the relationship metrics. Now, this is what we were filling, right? If you look at the complete picture of your QFD. So, the relationship between the antennas in remote areas and the cost plan, is it a strong relationship, positive relationship, or no correlation? If there is no correlation, the value which you would put in over here would be no correlation, that is a dot. Antennas in remote design and transmission medium to enhance the speed. So there is a correlation, because the more the antennas, the more transmission medium would be there to enhance the speed. So you will put in the plus sign over here, which is the positive correlation. Relationship between antennas in remote areas and sharing of antennas of other service provider is if there is any kind of a correlation. If there is a correlation, you put in plus. If there is no correlation, you put in minus over there. Similarly, the relationship between antennas in remote areas and training customer support team, I think there is no correlation, so you put it dot over here. So this is, this is dot over here. Similarly, the correlation between cost plan and transmission medium to enhance speed. I think there cannot be any correlation between cost plan and transmission medium to enhance speed. So you put it no correlation over here. Similarly, your relationship between cost plan and sharing of antennas of other provider. Again, no correlation between cost plan and sharing the antennas of other service provider. Then your relationship between cost plan and training support team. Again, no correlation. So you have completed for cost plan. Similarly, you will do it for transmission medium to enhance speed, sharing of antennas of other provider, transmission to enhance speed with training support. So transmission medium to enhance speed would have a positive correlation between sharing antennas or other provider, because if you have more transmission mediums or good transmission mediums, so probably sharing with the other service provider would be less. So there is a positive correlation. This is highly correlated between each other. Similarly, sharing of antennas and training, there is no correlation, so one dot over here. You put it one dot over here. So you have completed your conflict of interest house, you have completed your functional requirement house, you have completed your voice of customer requirement house. Now we are going to complete our relationship matrix over here, which we said that if there is a strong relation, put is 9, moderate 3, similarly weak 1. Now, what do you think? Better connectivity in remote areas and antennas in remote areas, is this a strong relation or weak or moderate? So let's say yes, it's apparently it's a strong relation, so we'll put it 9 over here. Low call data usage and antennas in remote areas, is there any strong, medium or weak? If you say it's moderate, you put it 3 over here. High speed medium internet connection and antennas in remote areas, if the high speed internet connection is strongly related to antennas in remote areas, so you put it 9. Customized rate plan and antennas could be moderate. Good customer service and antennas, no relation, you put it 0. So once you do this, you would get technical importance score over here. So how this is calculated is, this 9 would be multiplied with your 3, the customer importance rating. Then it would be added to the multiplication of 3 and 5, added to the multiplication of 9 and 5. So basically what is happening over here, your points in relationship matrix is getting multiplied with your customer rating, and then all of them would be summed up. So you would get the technical importance score over here in the end. So let's look at the picture, how exactly it would look like in the end. I have that sheet filled. Let me show you. So this is how it would look like in the end. You have completed your relationship matrix. You have given the points depending upon the relationship between your functional requirements and your customer requirement. We'll do one more example. For example, cost plan and better connectivity in remote areas. What is the relationship? Weak, strong, moderate? No, there is certainly a weak relationship. You give 1 over here. Low call and data usage rate and cost plan. High relationship. Less the cost plan, less would be on the low call and data usage. 9. We have given 9 points. High speed internet connection and cost plan. It could be weak or could be moderate, depending upon the discussion, the brainstorming sessions. I have given it 1 over here. Similarly, for other parameters over here, we have given the points. You would also be calculating weightage score. Weightage score would be the ratings into multiplied by your customer importance rating and sum it all. For example, customer 9 would be multiplied by 3, then would be added to 1 multiplied by 3, would be added to 9 multiplied by 3, would be added to 9 multiplied by 3, and would be added to 1 multiplied by 3. You will get 87 over here. Similarly, all the points would be calculated and weightage score would be calculated over here. And this is your, as we discussed, your benchmark, the customer benchmarking house. So you would have your weightage score over here. Satisfaction rating would be here. You should know what is your customer satisfaction rating on the customer requirement which you have gathered from the data. For example, I have 2 for better connectivity, 3 for low call, 3 for high speed, 2 for minimum disruption in services, 3 for customer rate plan as per need, and 3 for good customer services. Similarly, you will capture the customer rating with your competitor and put it over here, over the columns over here. Now, at this house where we would be calculating the technical importance score, we would get all the technical importance score, then we would have importance percentage over here, basis which the priorities rank would be assigned. This is what I was talking about. For me, the priority is on transmission medium to enhance speed. I should work on, the first thing I should work on to my transmission medium to enhance speed. This is the priority 1. Second priority is given to my sharing of antennas with other service provider. I should be working on this area. Shall I increase? Shall I decrease? There has to be initiative which should be driven on this area. So guys, either that could be your Six Sigma initiative, that could be your robotics process automation, that could be any digital transformation you want to go for. But that is how you would arrive at your focus area. That is the whole objective of QFD. Now, then why we discuss this conflict of interest and increasing it or decreasing it? So guys, it could be, if I'm working on transmission medium to enhance speed, and this is correlated with sharing of antennas of other service providers, so my priority, working on priority 1 would also help in terms of working on priority 2. So there, the correlation has to be checked, the conflict has to be checked over here. You can put your current performance over here. For example, my current performance on antennas in remote areas, I have out of 100, I have only 75, 30. Then you will put the target basis on what target you want to go to, and then you can put the benchmark at what targets do industries have over here, and then for example, let's do it. So my current performance on number of antennas, if I say I have 70 antennas in remote areas. I have a cost plan. I have so cost plan. I mean, you can quantify it. For example, out of 100 cost plan, 30 cost plans are fairly competitive. Transmissions medium to enhance the speed. Probably I have about 20 transmission medium with high speed and other transmission mediums for low speeds. Sharing of antennas, I am sharing 75 antennas with a service provider. Training customer support team. Now, what could be the target? So I can talk about in terms of the index or in terms of percentage. I want to be at my customer team should be performing at 80%. You can have your current performance over here. Similarly, you can put the target. Let's say you want to move to 80 antennas. You want to move the current performance for your cost plan should be 45. Cost plan should be there, which is more, which would give low call and data usage rate to customer. And then benchmarking is there are 85 antennas in remote areas for other service provider, and cost plans are left 50 cost plans are more competitive in the market. That is how you'll benchmark over here. The benchmark is a complete study which would be done by your benchmarking team. So you alone cannot do the benchmarking, or you're sitting with a set of people alone cannot do the benchmarking. That is a very important point to note down. Difficulty, what is the difficulty level? High, low, medium, complex. To achieve those targets, you will put it over here. Let's say, for example, this is high difficult, this is low, this is medium. Similarly, I'll complete the other one. Then cost and time, how much cost and time would it take? High cost, low time. So you understand the quality concept, time, cost and quality. That three angles in that quality triangle has to get balanced. This is the row where you will put in the how much cost, time and quality is going to be gathered after completing this. Now, basis this, you would decide your priority to improve. So let's say, for example, my priority to improve is again captured on transmission medium to enhance speed, the first priority. Second priority would be cost plan. So probably transmission medium to enhance the speed is again could be a redesign of a process. I can go with the complete redesigning over here. Cost plan is again could be redesigning, and this initiative I can take as a part of design thinking. Training customer support team, and I would look at my CSAT scores again, and probably working on CSAT score could be my Six Sigma initiative. So at very high level, at the senior stakeholder level, QFD would give him the areas of opportunity to work on, and they can initiate their project by looking at the priority to improve aspect of QFD. So this is it, guys, with QFD. Again, I told you it's not a rocket science. It's fairly easy to follow. Themes like redesign a process or eliminating the gap in existing process can be dealt with design thinking. These themes can be obtained from QFD. Things like improving the existing process, probably to get the best-in-class industry initiative like Lean Six Sigma can be chosen. So whatever themes you obtain from QFD, you can correlate those themes with the initiatives you want to drive on within your organization, guys. So that is the whole idea of QFD, guys. This can be implemented with Six Sigma, with design thinking, with RPA, with any initiative which you want to drive on, and it is very important aspects you should know. QFD is very important tool. We all should know how to deploy it. So guys, the next video probably will discuss something else. Best of luck to all of you guys for QFD and deploying QFD in your organizations. We'll meet again. If you have any question, any doubt, feel free to ask in comment section over there. I'll definitely answer all your doubt. Thank you for watching this video. Bye for now.